really the beginning of my time it was just training and classes and bodybuilding. Personal training was not something I really wanted to get my head wrapped around. When I first started, I realized I was really good at helping and coaching people at fitness because it was something I had a lot of passion in doing. So I started to read books. Back then we had really only resources were magazines. I realized that I wanted to focus on bringing a different form of fitness to people rather than private training. I wanted to focus on group training. I thought I could help more people that way. But I also realized when I was training in the club, my previous club, that when I was training 3 or 4 people at a time, we used to call it interactive training, the energy and the output and the work and the attendance was a lot higher, a lot greater than one-on-one. And I realized the energy of the group and the camaraderie of the group was so strong that people felt obligated to come in and train and work together, and they built this friendship and community amongst themselves. So I said, this is an avenue I wanted to pursue. But there was a little twist to it. I also realized over the first course of my career that women's fitness was really outdated. Everything that was coming in, all the trends, everything everybody was doing was all geared towards men. In my club, the people that resonated the most with my program was women. The things that, because I'm very, I guess, forward thinking. I like to try new things. I like to try things that people haven't heard of yet. So we were doing things that people weren't heard of. So we were doing like suspension training, which nobody heard of. We were doing like stability ball training, which nobody heard back then. And the women really gravitated to that. And even though it wasn't proven at the time that it works, they loved the idea and loved the concept. So when I went on to Integrity Fitness, I decided that I would change the way women train. I would change the jack of all trades trainer type persona, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to get really, really, really good at this one thing. I'm going to focus on this one thing, and I'm going to give it a shot. So I opened up a place called Integrity Fitness. We operated out of a bus. The whole idea was to run a boot camp with real boot camp type of training, working through a park, going, training from May to October outdoors. It was supposed to be a fantastic job, and it was, but it grew. And in the first year, I thought I'd get 15 or 20 clients, and I had about 150 clients in October, and said, hey, we're here, what are we going to do? So I had to open up an inside studio, and the women came along, but they also came with them with more friends. I mean, not everything I did worked, but the ladies loved the risk that I took, that let's try it. It didn't work, but let's try something fresh. The only thing that resonated with the ladies was the group training and the boot camp, and that's what I focused on over the course of time. But the second time around, I had spent 2 or 3 years working on my own personal development skills, so it was something I was able to help women with more than just nutrition and fitness. I was able to now help coach them and lead them, and that's something I've been passionately doing for the last little while, is focusing on coaching people both mentally, physically, and spiritually. Nobody knew what boot camp was back in 2005. People thought it was more of an army term or something that juveniles would go to. So when I went to the bank and I asked them, I want to open a club for boot camp, they laughed at me. And I had a model in my head. I was now following various boot camp and a couple of boot camps in California. I'd already done this before, but now I could do it online. And they had not heard anything about boot camp, so they denied me. So in order to get my project going, believe it or not, I took the biggest risk anybody would take in their lives. And to get this project off the ground, I had to sell my home and rent an apartment, in a basement apartment actually, with 3 other guys. And in 2 years, I had amassed, I guess, 300 clients. So I opened up a place on Applewood. I outgrew that, and then I opened up a place obviously on Zenway, and then from Zenway I opened up a second location on Langstaff. When people come to my club, they realize right away it's all about the people. That's all we think about, and that's what we're here to serve. And my goal is where these people are going and how they're going to get there and how I can change that and how I can make it better. And if I learn new things, basically I kind of put that in front of them and I let them take the channels themselves to kind of guide them where they have to go. The message I want to send is one of absolute trust. We are far greater than an individual, that we're a team, and that's why we work well together. So in the new year, the biggest part of our program is we're going to try to make it 3-dimensional. And the first part is obviously the fitness and the body part of things. So we're going to be introducing new types of concepts, new types of program, new types of training, new exercises, which is something that we've always done. And one of the things that works really well is competition and challenges. And most importantly, we're going to be trying to offer a full service type program where everything's included now. For a lot of clients, they can get pretty much anything they want inside the studio at a very, very, very fair value, but with very little resistance. So you can come in and you can get nutrition, you can get fitness, you can get training, you can get mental coaching, you can get life coaching. And the biggest part of all that is being able to do, I think, a lot of live talks where we have a lot of interaction with our clients, and I meet with our clients and talk to them, because I think just putting a diet in front of them doesn't really do anything for them. There's no learning, there's no communication, and I find that if you communicate with your clients, that you find obstacles that they have. I can find different things that maybe stand in their way. I can break patterns that they may have and make them aware, and all I do that by is just ask them a series of questions and make some mental breakthroughs. The most exciting change is we've been spending about a year learning about how to get our message out there via video, via posts and everything else. But we also have a women's community, I think, that needs some very detailed and specific type of information that would benefit them. So we're going to be working on our IG channel and getting experts from the community, working with our experts in the clubs and talking about all kinds of different things. Things from injuries, we talk about mental health, we could talk about mental fitness, and we could talk about life coaching, we can talk about menstrual cycles, we could be talking about postmenopause, we could be talking about premenopause, we could be talking about pregnancy and training, we can talk about bloating, all kinds of beautiful things, you know, things that women would like to hear that works for them and their needs at that particular time. 2019 will be our best year, ladies. Stay tuned. I can't wait to show you all the great things that we have for you coming up.